Hello parents, my name is Kathy Delzotti and I teach your sons and daughters geometry. A little bit about myself. I have taught here at Warren for 19 years. I've actually taught geometry for all 19 of them, and this is by far one of my most favorite classes to go ahead and to teach. I love the material, I love the math, I love everything about it. I love working with your students and seeing them go ahead and just make the connections. One main thing that I want to let you guys all know is that I am here for your kids. I am here for anything that they need. I will do my best to go ahead and to make sure that they are successful. If at any time you feel that there is something that I could be doing extra, or there's something that you think I should know about your child, I really encourage you to go ahead and to reach out to me. So what I would like to go ahead and I'd like to show you is a little bit about our website. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And when they go ahead and they log in, this is what they're going to go ahead and they're going to see. They're going to see me with my girls. I have Abby and Jackie there, and sometimes they'll hear them in the background as well. But your kids have all been really, really great about when they go ahead and they pop in to say hi. So I think it's really sweet, the little interactions that happen there. So there's basically four main buttons on my website. The first one being the Meet Mrs. Delzotti. The second one being the contact info and the course policies, which is what I'm going to go ahead and take you through right now. My contact information, if you ever need to go ahead and get in touch with me, the best way is via email. The email address is right there, kdelzotti@wths.net. I also have my YouTube channel, which is Mrs. Delzotti, all one word. So if you're ever interested to see what we're learning in class, or you just need some Friday night fun, feel free to go ahead, click on my YouTube handle here, and it'll take you to some great lessons that your kids are going to go ahead and they're going to be learning about. When it comes to my schedule, I do go ahead and teach two sections of geometry. I teach at 6th period and 8th period. Those are both on our gold day. So when we alternate blue, gold, they are both on the gold day for that. I also have up here my course policy sheet, and you are welcome to go ahead and click on that at some point if you would like. But one thing that I do want to go ahead and show you is basically how the grades are going to be broken down for this class. I do have 3 categories, the first one being the learner grade, that is 10% of the grade. I have the formative assessment, which is 35%, and then I have the summative assessment, which is 55%. Now, what the learner grade is basically how your child goes ahead and learns, all right? What do they go ahead and do to make the best of their education? With the learner grade, one thing that is going to be pushed out to them during each unit is this little checklist. This checklist will have basically what their responsibilities are for the entire week. And this will take us through the different units through the different weeks that make up the unit. So for example, with week 2, this is when we go ahead and we start our day 1 of unit 1. They have a section to write down when they plan on going ahead and doing it, when they actually did it, and then they can go ahead, they can check it off when it's actually done. My hope with this checklist is to really help them stay organized, especially because we are virtual and it's very easy, I feel, to fall behind. So I'm hoping this checklist will tell them exactly what it is they need to do and just give them a planning space. So the majority of our lessons will be live. So if they do happen to miss a lesson, there will be some video notes that they can go ahead and they can take. After we've gone ahead and we've gone through the notes, there will be an assignment from the homework packet. It will tell them on a Canvas sheet and also on this checklist exactly which problems they are going to go ahead and do. And then the next step is that they need to go ahead, they need to check their answers. I fully believe that there is absolutely no point in doing homework if you don't know if you're doing it correctly, which is why I've gone ahead and I've posted all of my answers with all of my work so that they have the opportunity to check them. Once they have completed that, they will go ahead and they will take a formative assessment on what they just learned. And I'll go through formative assessments in just a little bit. Then they'll go ahead and they will move on to the next lesson. That will be our next live day. Again, there will also be the video notes, and it basically goes ahead and repeats where they'll have the homework assignment, they'll check their answers, they'll take the second formative assessment, and then they'll have their summative. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click back here. So that 10% is the learner grade. Actually, let me go right back to that, because this is going to be broken down into weeks for them. At the end of the unit is where they're going to have their rubric, and this is where that 10% of the learner grade is going to come into play. There's different categories in this rubric, with the first one being the completion of notes. Did they attend all of my live classes? If they had to miss one, did they go ahead and make it up by watching and taking notes on the videos that I've provided? Did they complete all of their homework? Okay, I went ahead and I took our homework assignments and I smushed them down to just the essentials. I wanted to make sure that they had enough practice information, enough practice problems without going ahead and giving them busy work. I also have a homework habits category here. Like I mentioned, no point in doing homework if we don't know if we're doing it correctly. So did they check their answers? And more importantly then, did they go ahead and make the corrections? Did they see what they did wrong so that way they can learn from their mistakes? Communication. Did they participate in all of their live meetings? All right, we will have live meetings every single day that we go ahead and that we meet with the gold schedule. On the first live meeting, so on our Tuesdays, which is typically when the first gold day is going to be, we will also have our small groups. The small groups, I've gone ahead and I've divided the class into exactly that, into a lot smaller groups where they can go ahead and they can check in with me. I think this is a great way to go ahead and to build some community within the classroom. I think it's a great way to go ahead and just try to have like some real conversations. It's also the opportunity that if they had questions on something and if they weren't comfortable asking in front of the big class, then they can go ahead and they can ask just our small group. I do think it'll be nice too when we do go back to school. They'll know some kids then. They'll be able to say, oh, you were in my small group, at least I recognize that face. So that's part of the communication. Or if they did have questions, did they communicate? Did they email me? Did they come try and seek me out for some extra help? And then the last part, and this one's a super important one too, is academic integrity. Unfortunately, it's way too easy to cheat through e-learning, and that's why I'm really trying to instill the idea of academic integrity upon them. I encourage them to work together. I encourage them to help each other out, but in the end, I do want them to be responsible for their own work. So that was our 10% learner grade. And then the next thing that I'm going to talk about are our formative assessments. The formative assessments are basically like little quizzes throughout the week, okay? Instead of being a quiz with, typically like 15 to 20 problems on it, these quizzes only have about 2 to 5 questions. It's something that they should be able to finish within 5 to 10 minutes. And this formative assessment is meant to help us go ahead and see, do they understand what it is that we're talking about? They have 3 tries to go ahead and to take the formative assessment. So if they take it the first time and they didn't do very well, then they can go back, they can take a look at their notes, they can meet with me if they have questions, and they can go ahead, they can try it again. All right, so again, they have 3 times to take that formative assessment. And that formative assessment is going to go ahead and it's going to occur after each one of our lessons. At the end of each week, then, we're going to have a summative assessment, and the summative assessment is worth 55% of their grade. All right, summative assessment, think of like a test, but instead of, again, it being a big test, it's going to be a lot of smaller tests. It's going to be a test over just what we went ahead and we learned that week. All right, now, since they had 3 tries to go ahead and to take the formative assessment, that was to go ahead and to practice and really to make sure that they understood what was going on. They're only going to have 1 chance with the summative assessment because that's their chance to go ahead and really show me, yes, I understood these concepts. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our course webpage then. The next button that I have here is our virtual meeting information. They have all been able to go ahead and to find this button because this is how we go ahead and we meet for our virtual meetings. I've also put their time frames down for them for when our meetings actually are going to be. And then super important right here too is the additional support. On every blue and gold day, I'm going to be back in our Google Meet waiting for them from 2:40 to 3:15. They don't need an appointment. All they have to do is pop on in. This is a great time to get some extra help if they need it, or if they just want to talk. If there's something on their mind or they just want to chit chat, I'm there waiting, and I am ready and willing to go ahead and to help them in any way possible. And then the last page that we have that is part of this is this week's lesson. So each week I'll go ahead, I will unlock another link, and they will go ahead and they will click on it, and it will tell them exactly what we are going to be doing for the week. So for example, with this week 1, we had the That's Me assignment, and then we did the algebra review. It will tell them exactly when we're going to be live doing that video. If they miss it, then the video, or not when they are going to be live doing that lesson, if they happen to miss the live presentation, there will be a video for them. And then they'll have access to whatever homework assignment there might be for the day. So that kind of goes ahead, and that takes us through a little bit about what this course is all about. If you have any questions at any time, please reach out, please contact me. Like I said, I am here for your kids. I am ready to work with them, and I really appreciate the support that you're going to give all of us as we go ahead and we work through this. So as I end all of my lessons, Delzotti is done for today. I will see you back in class.